Aladdin, hello.
Yeah, hello. You see, that's the first time I pass by your channel, actually. And I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah.
Oh, wow. Thanks for joining us.
I would like to ask you something. I don't know. You said, "Oh my Lord Jesus." Are you Christian?
Oh, I said Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's part of the popular language that I grew up hearing because I grew up in Canada. But no, I'm not. I'm not Christian. I'm atheist. I think.
Okay. So I'm just curious. What's the point of all this you're doing? I mean, you're trying to provocate Muslims somehow. I mean, the way you are using Islam or you're making fun of Islam, I don't think that it's acceptable for any normal mind, with all due respect to you. So what's the point of this? Are you trying to provocate Muslims or you're trying to...
So the point is, it's also that we as ex-Muslims are persecuted and punished with the death penalty almost in 13 Muslim countries, right? And we go through a lot. Then the Quran itself, now I'll ask you something that's very important to understand. The Quran itself, does it not insult me and many kuffar by calling them like donkeys, like dogs, like disbelievers who are worse than animals? They're najas, they're filth. We came across a verse that calls this crazy, deaf, dumb, blind, loser. Don't let them near Masjid al-Haram. So when Sharul Bariya as well, the worst of creation, when you put all of those together, our point today is to show you that when you mock an idea like hell, you bring out the absurdity. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you something important. Did not Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam go to Nimrud and then take his stick and break all the idols and then give the stick to the biggest idol and then say to him, when the people questioned him, "It's you who did it," he said, "No, ask the biggest idol." He was mocking their gods, right? But what was the point of that mockery? Because it brings forth a point and it highlights the absurdity.
And even Muhammad did more than just mock. He committed blasphemy of the state religion. He broke the 360 idols. He sent armies to Ta'if. He sent armies to break the idols at Ta'if, and there was another one, Lat. I think it was a Lat. I forget. There was a few.
The one Kaaba he actually had destroyed as well. Yeah.
Can I say something? I'm just listening.
Go ahead.
First of all, your name is Gondal. Gondal. I don't know where did you get the story that Abraham gave the stick to the biggest idol and he told him, ask him. Does it say that in Islam? That he gave the stick to the biggest idol and he told him, ask the biggest idol. The stick is in his hand. I'm aware of what you are saying. I know what you're talking about. It doesn't say that he gave the stick to the biggest idol and he told him, ask him why he broke the idols with his stick. It doesn't say that. That's number one. Number two, for Mr. Abdullah Samir, you said that Islam is mocking believers, blah, 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 and you said he's insulting, whatever. You see, I don't know. Actually, you can't find the same terms in other Abrahamic religion. You can find it as well in Judaism and Christianity. So is it that you are pointing the fingers at Islam, but you're not pointing the finger at the other Abrahamic faith, which use the same terms and even used worse terms than that?
So that's
why Islam only?
Yeah, let me answer this one because he's asking me. Yeah, the story. Okay, about the story about the axe. I've heard this story as well. I don't know if it's in the hadith or the tafsir of this surah. If you want to look it up, Gondal, for 2162, just to
Okay.
see, it's probably in the tafsir that says that the axe, he put the axe with the biggest one, and the biggest one. I mean, whether or not he gave the stick to the biggest one or not is beside the point. The point is, it's actually quite offensive to break other people's idols and then to say your God did it, whereas they all know that these are actually not the actual gods that can walk around and break idols. They're supposed to be like a representation of the greater reality that they're worshiping. In terms of why do we talk about Islam, we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. I don't need to justify to you why I spend my time, my life. I can do what I want with my life. If I choose to talk about Islam,
I'm not against.
one second, I'm not done yet. I'm just going to mute you. Sorry. I don't have to justify what I do with my time. What I do because I think it's worth it. I believe that Islam is bad for the world. It has a lot of bad things in it. It's an inspiration for terrorism. It has misogyny against women. It has a multitude of unscientific and terrible ideas. It holds back the world from progressing morally, ethically. It has immoral values and teachings, for example, allowing children to be married. Many Muslim countries to this day, they don't allow, they will not reform the marriage laws because they say that Muhammad married a 9-year-old. So we cannot change this, because if Muhammad did it, then there's nothing wrong with it, right? To marry a child. And of course, other Muslims will disagree. Why do we not talk about, this is the last thing I'll say, and then you can respond. Why do we not talk about Christianity? Well, this is the first time you're coming on my channel. You've never heard of me before. How do you know I don't talk about Christianity? You don't actually know me. I wrote an article called Why I Believe Christianity is a Harm for Human Progress. You can look up my website, abdullahsamir.com. I've debated Christian Prince. I had a conversation with him where I told him, dude, your Bible makes no sense. I was on a Christian channel, big Christian channel with 200,000 subscribers in Indonesia yesterday. A lady came on the air called Jesus Christ Loves Me. And she's like, why are Muslims so illogical? They pray towards the Kaaba. That's dumb. Why they pray towards the Kaaba? I want to pray. Why do they have to pray 5 times a day? I pray whenever I want as a Christian. I said, Muslims can pray whenever they want too. There's no limitation that you can only pray towards the Kaaba. That's for the 5 daily prayers. But for the actual optional dua, you can do whenever you want. And I said, you're telling me your religion is logical? And I said, all religions are illogical. So I think, just to be fair, you shouldn't assume things about us if you don't know us. And if you want to ask if we are provoking Muslims, yeah, I think we're provoking Muslims to open their mind and to think about these things. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
So I found the tafsir of it's in a tafsir ibn Kathir of the same verse. It says that it was said that he put a hammer in the hands of the biggest idols. The people would think that it had become jealous on its own account and objected to these smaller idols being worshipped, so it had broken them.
Okay, so there you go. You got the answer to both of those. Do you have anything else you want to say?
You want to, may I speak?
Yes.
By the way, Gandalf, Tafsir ibn Kathir is in front of me. You want me to read it for you? I have it right in front of me for the verse that's there. I have it in front of me in Arabic. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Does it say that he gave the steak to the biggest and he told him, ask him, why did you break that? Does it say that? Does it say that in the tafsir? No, does it? You came to a conclusion that the tafsir says this. That's what you're trying to do. Okay. That's what
okay, hold on. It's right here.
No, I'm not reading the English. I have the Arabic in front of me. With all due respect, I don't have the English. You want me to read you the Arabic? If you understand Arabic, I'll read it for you. I'm aware of the verse that he quote. Actually, Abdullah, you quote the wrong verse. It was the next verse to the verse that you quote. Okay, it's not the one you quote.
Yeah, that's story.
Anyhow, let's go back. Mr. Abdullah, you know, when you said that you are, am I coming clear? When you said that you're really, when you said you're really trying to provocate Muslims, you said that right away, a while ago. So do you think that this is the right way to approach Muslims to something that you have in your mind? I mean, you want to give them a message. You want to relay something to them. You want to convince them in your way of life. Do you think the right way to do that is to provocate them as you said, if I will try to provocate you, let's say right now, and I'll try to say something that will offend you, will you accept from me or will you deny me? You will reject me for sure. So why don't you change your method and try to approach Muslims in a better way, so you will let them listen to you, not turn against you. So what you are doing here, you are trying to create a war between you and Muslims.
No.
The way you are addressing them. No, honestly, I'm not trying to provocate you. See, I'm not trying to insult you. I can use the same terms that you used, might will provocate you or your friend.
I'll say something to you how we approach most different people.
It depends the way you approach them. Have a dialogue with them, like I'm having a dialogue with you. Have a dialogue with you with high respect, with manners.
I'll explain you my approach and how I'm nuanced in how I approach different Muslims. Can I explain that to you?
Please, I'm listening to you. Just feel free.
Okay, so okay. If I am talking to somebody who is, let's say, a person like Yasir Qadi, or an academic, or a Muslim academic, the way I approach the issue would be completely different the way I would approach the issue with a random person on the street in Pakistan. Okay? There's a whole idea, I don't know if you know about street epistemology, there's this whole channel and they do this thing too. So how I talk to a person who believes in the Quran only versus the one who is a Sunni versus who is a Wahhabi is totally different. Now, also what I'm going to tell you is this isn't the only form of how I communicate with Muslims, because I've engaged in many multiple dialogues with varying degrees. I've talked to Mufti Abu Layth, I've talked to a PhD from Columbia University in Islamic studies. I wasn't mocking them like this. A lot of our streams aren't based on mockery. In fact, some of them are very serious. The point is that there's a time and place for everything, and even the Quran acknowledges that, where the Quran admits that at certain times, breaking the idols of the people is okay because that's the most effective or an efficient way to bring the point and absurdity forward. So that's the point. Why are we mocking the hellfire? Because it's a depressing subject and it brings the absurdity out to people more. Okay? If we were talking about something like Quran preservation, it would be completely different in how we approach the topic. Anyway, that's all.
I'm just going to add one thing, then you can talk. Again, you don't know us. Like, you don't know us. Go look up another channel, ex-Muslim channel, and compare it to my channel. You will see that my approach is totally different. But at the end of the day, if you choose to be offended, you can be offended. I'm offended by many things in the Quran. So what? Live and let live. That's what I have to say. Right?
Okay, let me say something?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, Mr. Gondal, I hope that I won't offend you. Please don't be double standard. You are a double standard person.
You're allowed to be offended, and he's allowed to be offended. Everybody's allowed to be offended.
You are a double standard person with two faces. With all due respect to you, for me, according to my understanding, I call this as a hypocrisy. If I'm talking with an academic, please allow me to finish. You see, if I'm talking to an academic man, like you mentioned some names of scholars, so therefore you will approach them in an academic way. But if you are talking to others, you just admit that you're mocking them. But that's why I'm mocking them. So the point here, you know what I'm trying to say here? Why is it why don't you try to be an academic?
Okay, here there's a local imam. Does he give the khutbah the same way he speaks to the person who asks him a question in his mihrab alone?
Wonder, please, I did not interrupt you. I did not cut you off. So can you please finish my point, please?
Oh, I thought you were done.
Finished.
Please, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. See, that's point number one. So why don't you try to approach all the same way you approach academics? So the academic speaker that you mentioned his name, Yasir Qadi or something, he accepted talking to you according to you spoke to him. I don't know. You say that. So he accepted. I don't know. You mentioned some names.
Azad.
So let me finish, please. They accept to talk to you because you approach them in a better way. So why don't you do this when you talk to other Muslims? So you'll have the chance also to communicate with them. That's number one. Number two, let me finish. You made a mistake when you said Qur'ani, Sunni, and Wahhabi. You said that. You see, they are different. They are Qur'ani, Sunni, and Wahhabi. So you divided Qur'ani from Sunni and Wahhabi. Do you know that Wahhabi? Let me finish, please. I'm trying to read the words that you are talking. I'm trying to repeat the words that comes out of your mouth, not my words. You said a while ago, different like Qur'ani, Sunnis, and Wahhabi. So when you said Qur'ani, Sunnis, and Wahhabi, you divide them into three different groups.
Wait,
By the way, Wahhabi call themselves also a Sunni.
I know that.
So when you say Qur'ani, Sunni, and Wahhabi, you are trying to tell me that we are not Sunni. That's another mistake that you made.
You're playing a game of semantics. I don't want to get it. I know I can go into detail where there's the Deobandis from Deoband, there's the Barelvis from the Bareli Sharif, then they have Imam Ahmad Raza Khan, then there's Imam. I can keep.
You obviously have a lot to say and you're going on and on. Either you let us respond, like we don't want to hear you ranting for 5 minutes. Like just make a point and let us respond to it. He didn't say there's Quranis, Sunnis, and Wahhabis. That's not what he said. And yes, we know that. I used to be Salafi myself.
Yeah.
Right? Ahlul Sunnah. They call themselves Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'at. And they believe they follow the righteous predecessors, right? The Salaf, Salaful Salihin. Yes, we know that. We're not saying they're not Sunni. We're not saying that. You're obviously... Okay, he's gone. Okay, he gave up.
Yeah, he was reading too much into things that feel a little way too much.
I was happy. Muslim call it, man. That's what we're doing. Like, we want, like, I want it. I'm like, great. Now, I'm kind of...
We showed him our side at least. Like, we showed him the
I think he's a little bit too butthurt. And I wanted to tell him, I wanted to respond to him. If you're still listening, buddy, don't tone police me. I'll say what the fuck I want. If you don't like it, too fucking bad. I want to thank the Abdullah Samir team for all your support. Those of you who aren't part of the team yet, click join now below to support Normalizing Dissent. Click the support link for more details. This is your friendly neighborhood ex-Muslim, Abdullah Samir, signing out.